was everyone's holiday? Everyone have a good little holiday? Eat some good food? Do some things? No? Nobody?
Yeah,
Nothing?
I forced myself to go out sick. So yeah, it was fucking miserable.
Go out? What are you talking about?
Like go to my parents.
Oh.
They were like adamant of us. They like because we knew we didn't have COVID. They like still wanted us to come regardless. I'm like, you guys are fucking stupid.
Yeah,
But I'll come.
that's a little much.
And the way they view life at this point, they're like, we're gonna die soon. We don't want to miss anything anymore. Like that's pretty much when they've been after these last 2 years.
That's I mean that's one
That's
way
a
to look at
viewpoint.
it, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Um I feel like I have eaten the most I've eaten in a while, just in general. Just I've been eating better, obviously, since I started
I thought you
losing
were gonna say
weight.
eating worse.
I mean, this fucking week, like I went not back on everything, but I've been eating so much fucking leftovers and just like good food, but it's a lot of stuff, a lot of vegetables. Though, gotta get those greens in there, those oranges, those other things.
My parents gave me some leftover stuffing that we had, and I brought it home. And like that night, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make the stuffing. So I throw it in the bowl, throw it in the microwave, and all of a sudden the microwave is like making like sparks, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't think much of it though, and then I start eating it, and then a couple scoops in, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? There was like a bone, like a teeny little bone in the fucking stuffing, and I'm like, oh, cool,
Wait,
oh, great.
bones? I mean, not that I would need to know.
Yeah, apparently,
Wait,
I'm
no,
assuming
you
that's
can
what made it.
definitely
Like,
I've like definitely like heated up chicken on the bone in the microwave, like
I'm
wings or
assuming
something.
that's what like made like a crazy noise though in there
So
because
you
it wouldn't be like fucking
you
bread.
definitely ate tinfoil or something.
No, they didn't even use tinfoil. I don't think. It's like,
Maybe was it in a container that can't go in the microwave?
no.
I don't know.
I was wondering why the microwave was making this weird noise though, because I'm like, it's just fucking bread.
Maybe Ant-Man was in there.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who's watched Hawkeye?
Well, I haven't watched it.
I still have not.
Mike, you haven't watched it either?
I did.
Oh.
I watched it.
We may have already talked about it then. I don't know. We don't have to go into detail, but like, are you enjoying
No,
the
no
first
spoilers.
2 episodes or no?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I can really say right now is that it's so far meeting my expectations.
Did you have expectations going into it? Because I had zero expectations. This was probably of the shows we've known about. This is like the show that I probably had the littlest of interest in. And so far, these first 2 episodes, I'm like, oh, actually, the show fucking is kind of awesome.
I think I had zero expectations up until they released the first trailer, and then I was like, you know what? This looks like it could be fun.
Yeah.
See, I have some extremely high expectations for it because he's like one of my favorite. Like Black
Yeah,
Widow.
but we all know that
Hawkeye.
you were like one of the few people that were subscribed to his social network, like
Yeah,
you're on
right.
Jeremy
Exactly.
Renner's
Damn, I wish
social
that was
network.
listed now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing will ever.
His commercial.
Still, the best video I've ever seen is when he's like singing that song. He's like "Babadoo Babadoo." He's just like, I don't know if you guys have seen this when he tries singing or
I don't know
he
what
is
you're
singing.
talking about.
Yeah, I was going to ask if did he make a full album or did he just make
know.
a couple singles?
It's like the greatest thing ever.
Wait, is he in another band or is it the same one band that we're talking about?
I think it might just be. It's like a solo thing that he did.
Yeah, he made like a solo thing.
Because he did at one point was in a car commercial. I forget what brand of car, but in the car while he's driving it, it was his music playing, and I was so confused. I was like, "What is this commercial?"
That was probably the stipulation of him doing the commercial. He's like, "You got to play my music.
Got to play my jam in here." I mean, I don't know why you like Hawkeye so much. I think Hawkeye's.
I don't like Jeremy Renner in anything else except for Hawkeye. And Wind River.
I mean, he's got arguably the best line in Avengers 2, but like outside of that,
yeah, he's got a bunch of good lines in Avengers too. I feel like, yeah, he's good.
I don't know about a bunch of good lines. I'd have to hear him, but the one where he's talking to Scarlet Witch. Does everyone else know what I'm talking about or no?
I can't remember what it is, but I know what you're talking about.
She's like hesitant to go out and fight with them, and he's like he gives like a quick little speech, and it's basically like, they're flying robots. I shoot a bow and arrow. None of this makes any sense, but I go through anyway and I do it because like it's just him kind of shitting on himself. I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking just shoots bows and arrows. But yeah, the show's. I'm surprised that I'm enjoying it. I hope it can keep up with that because I like it a lot. I'm now very excited for the next episode.
I think you need to watch Daredevil. I think you like in the next like leading into Spider-Man. I think you need to watch the 2 seasons because it's some of the best TV out there.
Or the film with Ben Affleck.
I mean, I've seen the film with Ben
Bingo.
Affleck. I haven't seen not the sequel, but I haven't seen Elektra. Is that a sequel? Is he in that?
Apparently there's a director's cut to the Ben Affleck film that they say makes it actually a really good movie.
Of course, release the fucking Affleck cut or whatever, whoever directed that movie. Not Affleck,
no, but you really should watch Daredevil because like it's really fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know if they end up.
It sounds like they're gonna put these guys. It sounds.
Yeah,
but
if they brought them in, wouldn't they just make them? Would they keep that storyline canon? Like, would it matter?
I don't know.
Why would they have to?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do the Netflix shows ever reference the MCU or no?
Yes.
Yeah, that was their whole thing at the beginning.
Wait, the Netflix shows are technically MCU canon? They just don't cross over? Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, yeah, maybe I'll watch it at some point. I don't know. The fight scenes are good. That's all you guys talk about.
Punisher and Daredevil are all you need to really watch. I mean, actually, Nick Cage's first season was good. I didn't watch the second one.
Luke Cage?
Nick Cage.
Nick Cage.
I'm stick with Nick Cage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nick Cage is MCU canon.
Maybe I'll watch it at some point. We'll see. I don't know. That being said, I actually don't want to go down this pathway, but I finally watched Shang-Chi and I actually loved that movie. Like that is probably like easy without thinking about it. It's probably in my top 10. I don't know how high it would be.
Really?
I really liked it. I thought it was fantastic. Like
if it's stuck with like the first hour.
How many movies are we in?
A lot.
20 something. I think we're at 23, 24.
I think it sneaks into my top 10. It is. I really enjoyed it.
Probably it's top half for me.
Oh,
I think I said it was the middle third for me.
I'd say it's like
that's
half,
actually what I said
a little bit below half.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
What do you mean by middle third?
Like it's not top tier, but it's not like fodder. Like it was good.
And so am I the only one that
But
liked
like
it?
not top. No, I liked the movie. I just don't think it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't
Yeah,
Avengers.
I also like
It
Doctor
wasn't.
Strange. I wouldn't. Yeah. I like Doctor
Wasn't
Strange.
All
Doctor
right,
Strange.
I guess that's
top
fair. I guess that's
10.
fair. I guess that's fair. I don't know. I think it might crack my top 10. I'd have to sit down and actually think about it, but like as far as especially like first hero movies or solo movies or origin films for what it may be worth, like I don't know. I think the best origin movies in no specific order are Iron Man, Ant-Man, Black Panther, and Shang-Chi. I think the rest of the origin movies are kind of whatever. Like I personally like Captain Marvel, but I don't think it's like a good movie. Like it's not like I would put Shang-Chi above Captain Marvel, I think. As far as like
I mean, we've all
films.
seen it. I mean, I can preface this with it's a spoiler if you haven't seen it, but one of the end credit scenes like just made me like hate like Captain Marvel so much more. Like the way like she is, I just don't like her. It's like, okay, I gotta go. You know, like however she like just had to like disappear, and it's just like, I can't. I don't know why. I just don't like how they're doing that character. Maybe I just don't like the character in general.
What about that bothers you? She's dealing with fucking galactic problems. Like she's gonna
Yeah,
fucking
I know.
do shit.
She's always gotta go.
Hulk's in a fucking sling. Yeah, he doesn't have to run. He's going anywhere. He's in a fucking sling.
I hated it. I hated that after credit scene. I thought it was really cheesy. I did not like that at all.
I mean, sure. I mean, you're allowed to have that opinion. I liked it. It got me excited. It got me excited that like they're just gonna immediately roll him into the fold of like, hey, you are important. Get in here now.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see him in there and how they make him work in there. But yeah, I don't know. The last like half hour, 45 minutes of that movie just didn't work for me.
I mean, the CGI fight scenes at the end. I didn't like none of that does anything. I don't need that. Like whatever. But I think the rest of the movie outside of that was good and enjoyable.
Oh man,
and
it's amazing.
I liked a lot of it.
It would have been a top 10 Marvel movie for me if it just stayed the course of that like amazing choreography and like the battle between the father, like the the Mandarin and when he meets the wife, that scene is so good. And like, yeah, just the whole first hour and like 15 minutes, I thought was top tier.
Yeah. I do think it was interesting. I guess not that they needed to do it because it's very clear that like he's going to show up in further things, but also very clear by the post-credit scene where Wong brings him to wherever to talk that he's going to come back in some way. But I thought it was interesting that the movie ends with the 10 rings will return or whatever. Have they ever done that besides doing that for Thanos?
Not that I can think of offhand, but it's possible.
I don't remember them ever doing it for a non-hero.
Yeah, most of the non-heroes don't make it through their full movie.
Vulture. I'm trying to think of another one.
You said most.
Yeah,
Loki.
yeah.
Did they ever do Loki would return?
Okay.
Have they ever done Loki will return?
They did in his show.
Okay. All right. There you go. Fair enough. Anyways, this is an MCU episode, so welcome everyone to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest video games.
I guess I should also post-face that with saying that might be a spoiler, but oh well.
Yeah, it is what it is. A show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we talk about the MCU too much, a lot lately. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Sunday evening is the anime senpai himself, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing in this lovely evening? It's par for the course.
There you go.
Also rounding us out this evening is the Fortnite father, Todd Gary. Shit's getting scary. Todd, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
What are you drinking?
Good. I'm really
I saw you crack something open. What are you drinking over there?
little Lagunitas.
Ew.
I know.
Oh, is that the one you told me was good that you were drinking recently?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, and I'm really curious to see what you thought about Memento. So. Yeah,
I mean, spoiler alert. Finishing us off this evening. I don't know why I said it that way. Is the Disney daddy, the Pixar poppy, Dominic 40. Dom, how are you doing tonight?
I'm here.
He is here. So before we roll into tonight's episode, of course, this episode is a PTC Movie Club episode as it is the end of November. So if you haven't watched Memento or don't care about that movie, it's time to hit pause and wait until you care or have watched the movie, because we're going to talk about Memento in its entirety for the rest of this episode. So there is your one and final warning to back off if you don't care or haven't watched Memento yet. I'll give you another second just in case you're driving a car and you can't just quickly turn off the podcast. I don't want to go nuts and, we say something crazy and then you're like, oh, there's no point in watching this now because I know the plot. I know the twist. I know the whatever. Anyways, Memento. Last chance. All right. But before we get into Memento, actually, we'll run through, I'll give you some more time. We'll go through a couple of housekeeping things and then we'll get into it. Mike's making a lot of faces over there. I love it. I kind of want to just keep vamping until Mike runs out of faces to make at me. This episode of the Fast and Short Podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, want yourself something delicious, something sweet, something hot and tasty, head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what a fatty is, you can check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. And if you're like me, you want to get your morning going pretty good on a nice Sunday morning, a little lazy, sleep in a little bit, open up your phone, head on over to Good Morning Chubby and get yourself a delicious morning treat. Yes, they will deliver it to your door if you're in range. Yes, you can also go down to 1 Washington Square. Either way, when you head down, let them know Past Controller sent you. A couple other things. I will share these out soon, but we got a couple other bonus episodes coming up soon with some special guests. More details on those in a little bit. And then I guess since we're about to hit December, it's time to reveal PTC Movie Club pick for December, which have we decided? Is it going to be just the thing we spoke about as like just a non-pick pick, or is it my pick? I don't care either way.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it makes little difference to me.
Let's do it that way then, since we what?
I was gonna say I'm gonna watch them regardless.
Yeah. So why don't we just make it a thing, and then I'll pick in January. So the month of December will be no one's pick, We'll reload picks back on January, but for December,
Reload.
we are going to do a Matrix trilogy rewatch in anticipation of the new movie, Resurrection. What's the newest movie called?
Yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah, I think
Resurrection. So we will be doing a Matrix trilogy rewatch episode for the month of December. So you have a couple of days head start on December if you want to start banging out those movies again. We will do an episode towards the end of the month on Matrix trilogy, and I'm sure we'll do a Matrix Resurrections episode as well at some point soon after the movie comes out. So
I'm excited to talk about Reloaded because everyone shits on like the second two, and I think Reloaded is like a top tier movie. I don't think Reloaded is a bad movie.
I don't know if I've ever watched 2 or 3. I know I've watched 1, but I watched it when I was a kid, so I haven't rewatched any of these.
There's only one thing that bothers me with 2, and it went a little heavy on the CGI with like the Mr. Anderson fight scene, and it like kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. But like everything else besides that in that movie is
At
really
the
good.
time, the CGI was like, it was decent.
It was good, but it was
It's-
like
it
in
hasn't
the first Matrix,
aged
you didn't
well.
notice any CGI. You know what I'm saying? It was like more like
Yeah.
practical, and like there wasn't anything. There wasn't like, obviously.
I'm only laughing because you said in the Mr. Anderson fight scene, and not that the whole movie was fucking CGI.
Wait, but that's the only one that's like super noticeable though. Like, it's like hundreds of like when their bodies go flying, they're like wicked, like they look like video gaming. Like it's.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, they're in the Matrix, Todd. What do you expect?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'm excited to rewatch them. Hopefully, I
Same.
enjoy them. Because I
I'll be so
I
sad
don't
if
really
this-
have an opinion on the Matrix because I've only ever watched at least the first movie back then.
I'll be so sad if the reviews start rolling out for the new one and they're just fucking saying the movie's terrible, which I have a feeling it could go that way, but I really hope it doesn't.
I don't know. People might give it a little extra grace simply because it's Keanu. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna say
You might get a little
everyone-
extra love for that.
And NPH and
Oh yeah, I forgot about it.
But do people like Neil Patrick Harris?
King George.
King George.
What's
Who
his
the
name?
fuck is King George?
Will Smith.
The guy that played him in
Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Oh, who's
Yeah,
that guy?
I don't know
Who's
the
that guy
guy's
playing
name.
in the movie?
Is he playing Morpheus or?
He's playing
One of the agents, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm guessing he's an
Oh,
agent.
that
He's sitting
guy.
behind the desk and he says, "Wow, after all this time, we're going back to the Matrix."
Interesting. I've never seen that guy in anything else. I love him in Hamilton, though. He's great.
He's the voice of Kristoff. Frozen.
Oh, really?
I've never seen
I
that.
didn't watch the first Frozen.
There's a Frozen 2?
Yeah.
There is a Frozen 2.
And it's out? It exists? You can watch this?
It's like
Yeah.
2
Came out
years
years
old.
ago.
I mean, maybe I knew that. I don't know.
I
So
actually
wait.
liked both Frozen movies. I thought
Yeah, they were both
and I
good.
never wanted to see them.
Mike,
I
you've
ended up
seen
like-
Frozen 2, but you haven't seen Frozen 1?
That's the part I was confused by.
Have you watched Olaf's side piece?
Dude, they're like 5
No.
minutes long. We watched like I think it was like a 20 minutes between all of them. I was like, what is happening? I did not. I knew they were short, but not that short.
I mean, what do you expect? You want a whole
Wasn't
movie?
there one that was like 10 minutes before another movie?
That was Was it Toy Story 4?
I
They
forget.
took it
I
out
never
because
saw
kids
that
couldn't
film.
sit that
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was longer than 10 minutes. I think it might have been 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was. I
And
remember
parents
people
were
complaining
complaining
it was
that
a
their
long
kids
thing.
couldn't sit that long, like waiting for another movie.
Weird. Anyways, before we get into tonight's main show, which is
Un momento, por favor.
Un Memento, por favor, we gotta of course touch on everyone's favorite new segment, Who's Pitching a Tent on Mike's Island. Mike, for new listeners who may not have heard this segment before, I'll explain what it is to them. We're gonna let Mike, a known non-Animal Crossing player, in on. We're gonna name a character, and he has to tell us who that character is and what they do. So, Mike, who is Leaf, and what does Leaf do? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And it might be pronounced
Leif
Leif.
Erikson?
Yeah,
He's a
it might,
Viking?
it might be pronounced Leif.
Leif.
Is it pronounced Leif? Leif? It must be Leif. Anyways.
L-E-I-F,
I think.
Leif
I
Erikson?
think. I think. I think.
Oh,
Leif
is it
makes
Leif?
sense.
All right, I don't know.
Yeah.
I always say Leif, but I mean, I could be wrong. Anyways, Mike, who is Leif, and what does Leif do?
He is a Viking.
No.
What's a traditional Viking animal? Let's say walrus, and he shows up to give you hugs.
I did not think he was going to get this right out the bat. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's kind of crazy, Mike. So I'm gonna give you a hint. The first hint is you already got
all these animals look alike.
You already got the person that sells you shoes last time, so not Uggs, and also not a walrus. I'll give you one more hint. This animal is the only animal of its kind in Animal Crossing. So that'll help you erase, like, cats and other animals that exist on Animal Crossing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's kind of a big hint.
Quickly backtrack. I did not say Uggs as in shoes. I said hugs.
Said hugs as in embrace.
Okay.
I was like, why is Brenden talking about shoes all of a sudden?
I don't know. You said Viking and then Uggs. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyways, no. Not hugs.
So he's the only animal. Okay, so he's a dodo. He's the last dodo.
No. There
See.
are dodos in Animal Crossing. Leaf is not a dodo. Last chance to recover, Mike. You must recover.
He is a.
I mean, maybe there's a hint in the name. I don't know, Mike. Who's to say?
Honestly, it's one of the best characters in Zootopia. That's my hint.
Okay, so the sheep.
Nope.
I figured you'd like the sheep. I don't know why.
All right, Mike.
I like the sheep.
Leaf is a sloth.
Mm-hmm.
What does Leaf do?
All right, well, going back to Zootopia, he runs a DMV.
There's no DMV at Animal Crossing. You get one more chance to save yourself, Mike. One more chance for the save. One more chance for the steal.
Okay.
The Zir team, chance to steal.
Yeah, we're going to go with the physical challenge.
They have physical challenges on Family Feud? I've never seen one.
Yep, they changed it up. They said we need to get the double dare crowd in.
Okay, all right.
So,
it was crazy when they did Celebrity Family Feud and they went on the aggro crag.
It's gotten crazy. You should watch daytime television. Yeah, so he is a let's see, Leaf the Sloth is a.
Remember, think about his name.
Think about his name, Leif Erikson.
I never said it, Erikson.
He is a martial arts trainer.
Is that your guess, Mike? Is that your real guess?
That's my guess. That is my guess.
Okay. Well, you are incorrect. Leaf sells you plants, Mike. He also will buy your weeds off of you too.
That's why Todd likes him so much.
And in the newest update, he'll actually provide a weed de-weeding service for your island.
De-weeding, huh?
I don't know, Mike. He's a sloth. Sloths are pretty slow. He's all about weeds. You tell me.
Baked out of his gourd.
But I don't know, Mike. I thought you would have at least had what Leaf does. Leaf, come on.
Spelled different. He's named after a Viking.
He's a martial arts expert.
Apparently.
I like that better, I think.
Yeah. That's surely.
I think the people on your island should be well versed in the martial arts.
Yeah, they got people coming in and off the island all the time. You don't know who's going to roll up on the island.
Not Mike, that's for sure, because Mike doesn't know anything about Animal Crossing. Mike, if I bought you Animal Crossing, would you play it?
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, I wish that Mike secretly started playing Animal Crossing and really started loving it and just couldn't stop playing it. I would love that.
We can't get Mike to download free games on Game Pass and play them with us. He's not playing Animal Crossing.
You don't even have to get out of your bed to play Animal Crossing, though. You can just lay there and just it's so non-committal, and there's not you don't have to focus. You can just fucking run around like an idiot.
Yeah, but I can do that without playing the game.
We can't get Mike to play Sea of Thieves. He's not going to play Animal Crossing.
Also, I have games on my shelf that I know were not purchased by me that I've also not played.
Dom and I have at least both given you one game that you have probably never played.
To be fair, I have bought him games that are absolutely ludicrous, so I don't expect him to have played them.
That's true. I believe I do own a Jonas Brothers game because of.
Stop it.
I mean, that's just a fun thing to stream. Like, you're fucking up by not doing that. Actually, you probably get DMCA for that, but
I don't know how to stream from a 3DS.
oh yeah, you need special stuff. I mean, you can still just do it and have a good time and just play it. You know, lay in bed, snuggle up under a blanket, maybe a mug of hot cocoa. You know, playing some Joe Bros.
You might have a market cornered for 3DS Jonas Brothers games.
I could be the top streamer for that category.
Wait, are there multiple ones and you own multiple copies, like multiple games in the series? Do you own? Do you have a complete set, Mike?
Yeah, I've got a game for each Jonas brother.
I mean, CIB. Are you case in box? You got a perfect pristine collection?
Well, no, I had to open them to put them in my console.
Oh no, you can still open them. CIB just means you have like case manual, any other accoutrements.
Oh yeah.
So you got completes. You got completes.
Mm-hmm.
Not case in box. Sorry, complete in box. So what CIB stands for. I don't know why I said case in box, because case in box doesn't make any fucking sense.
Bit redundant.
Anyways, we're here for the reason we're here, which is to talk about Mike's pick for November, Memento. So, this is a Nolan joint, right? Christopher Nolan?
Hell yeah.
So, directed by Christopher Nolan with a budget of $9 million. Does anyone have any guesses on where this ran in the box office?
It's funny. I know that I saw it because after I watched the movie shortly after I picked it, and then I was looking for the summary of it because, the way the movie was, I needed to make sure that I had it sorted out correctly in my head. And I saw the box office return. Forget what it was because it was a month ago.
I'm going to say 32.
Todd's going to say 32. Dom, what you going to say?
20.
20?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, even though you probably know the answer because you're cheating, but you were honest about it. So, if you get it, you get it.
I'm honest. I forget what I saw. I think it made back more. I think it did well.
So where's your guess? Where are you planting your flag here?
Actually, no, maybe not. I'm going to say 16. I'm going to go lower than those guys.
So Todd, you said what?
32.
32, 20, and 16. With a worldwide box office closing at a little over almost 40 mil. 39.7. Memento seemingly did really well in theaters. I'm assuming from 9 million to almost 40 million. That's a very good outing for that type of movie too, I would imagine.
When I saw it in the theater too, it was at like the I forget what movie theater it is. I saw it at the movie theater where like they played independent movies. And it was not a movie.
He wasn't big yet, right?
No, that was a movie that kind of took him off. Like that. I mean, the string of movies he did. I think Insomnia was next, but yeah, that was a movie like that. People were like, that was a huge word of mouth movie where like you got to go see, and everyone's like, "What the fuck's that movie?" Like there was like very little like marketing for it.
You're talking about Nolan, or are you talking about
Memento?
No, but you said were you talking about Nolan or Guy Pearce?
Nolan.
Okay.
Nolan.
Because you said Insomnia, but I have up his IMDb and I don't even see Insomnia on here. Is that a movie by him?
Nolan's?
Yeah.
It's a Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah, it should be the next movie.
Yeah.
Oh, then he didn't write it, I guess? Because let me go to director. Because it's not up here.
Yeah, he directed it.
Yeah, he didn't write it, though. Okay.
So yes. I don't think his brother wrote this. His brother wrote Memento.
His brother wrote a short story.
Okay, yeah. Because if I'm looking at Nolan's director IMDb, prior to Memento, it was a movie called Following in 1998. And then there's a few other short TV things or some other things. And then after Memento's Insomnia. But if you look at his writing credits, Insomnia's not there. Insomnia, Cinema 16, short film, Batman Begins, Prestige, Dark Knight, Inception, Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, A Quay, which is a documentary short, Dunkirk, Tenet, and then currently filming or directing Oppenheimer. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I think it's another World War. It's like another war movie.
The guy that created
World War II.
The atomic bomb.
So prior to Memento, like, has anyone seen The Following or no?
No.
I have still not seen The Following.
I've seen Following.
Is it
I've
good?
watched Following.
It is called Following, right?
Yeah,
And
no,
not The Following.
Yeah. Is it good? It was a while since I've seen it. It's another movie that
Is it black and white?
It's black and white, yeah. It's another movie that kind of plays with your perception of things. I forget the full things, but it's a movie that has almost a twist in it as well.
It plays with your inception of things.
Whoa.
You can leave.
So Memento being I mean, I'm sure I didn't look. I'm sure it was also a critical success since it was this type of movie and then was a commercial success. This is the thing that kind of like gave Nolan a career. Is this like his break, or did that not come until later?
No, this like made Nolan like known, and people started following him after this. You know, like because I think it was like I looked it up. I think it was 93 or 94 critics, and then user reviews are like 93, 92. It's like pretty unanimous across the board that people like loved it.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'll
when
say
Brenden hates it, he's going against the grain.
I mean, isn't that par for the course though? I mean, I'll say this before we get into the movie itself. Like going into this, I had not a shred of an idea of what the fuck this movie was about. Like zero idea. I honestly was confused because up until Mike picked The Prestige, I just always kind of crossed those two movies in my head together as like the same thing, like The Prestige and Memento, probably because of Mike, because I'm assuming these are both movies that you like and you've mentioned a lot. I don't know why I associate these movies with you, both of them. But after I had watched Prestige, when I watched this movie, I was like, wait, like when it started, I was like, I don't actually know what this movie's about. Like I have no clue what is about to happen. Cause I also didn't know that The Prestige was like fucking Magician Man. Like both of these movies, no idea what they were about. And I was so confused going into this one, knowing that like what Prestige, what I thought it was and what it ended up being. Nope. So kind of in the same boat here.
I kind of want to have another Nolan pick, and before we do the episode, be like, all right, Brenden, before we watch the movie, what is this movie about?
Yeah. You know what? Well, this is what we'll do going forward for future picks that aren't mine. If they're movies that I haven't seen and I don't know anything about, I will answer that question.
What do you know about this movie? What do you think you know about? This movie?
I will answer that. And if at any point anyone else has that same like I have no fucking clue what this is about, we'll do that for whoever.
See, I already know what my next pick's gonna be, but part of me like really wants to pick Insomnia just because I don't want to do another Nolan movie, but like just Insomnia is so different from any other Nolan movie that he's really done.
If anyone ever picked that, I have no idea what the movie's about. Don't even know what it is.
Yeah, no,
like when before you two got in here and Todd brought up, he's like, "Oh, I can't wait to hear what you thought of Insomnia." I was like, "We watched Memento." He goes, "No, we watched Insomnia." I was like, "Disturbia?" Like was my response because I don't fucking know anything about Insomnia.
Did you see Disturbia?
With Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah,
I did watch the Shia LaBeouf movie Disturbia.
I watched Rear Window. I didn't watch Rear Window. I'll be upfront with that.
But yeah, so I had no fucking clue what this movie was about, and as it's like going, I'm like, okay, like so this is just fucking 12 minutes the game. So Mike, 12 minutes is your game of the year, I'm assuming. It's 12 minutes with less to no incest.
I'm really struggling to actually connect this to 12 minutes in any meaningful way.
So here's where I was at the beginning of the movie. Well, I guess we'll just do a quick overview of the movie, and then we'll get on with it. So, like, Memento, actually, what's the point of even doing the quick overview? If you've listened to this, you've watched the movie, or you know the movie, or you're listening to it and just want to hear us talk about a movie you've never seen, that's fine too, I guess. So as it was going, at first, I was like, is this just a loop? Like, what keeps happening? Because, like, the way that the movie presents itself, which I did enjoy a lot, which is, like, you're starting at the end. You don't really know it's the end until you get to the end, but you're starting at the end. You're clearly you piece together quickly, at least I did, that you are starting at a future point and are recollecting how we got to that point. But in the beginning, probably like first half hour of the movie, I'm like, before they reveal that he has like short-term memory loss, all these things, I'm like, is he like is he doing something wrong? And then he has to like, maybe because of 12 minutes, that's why I was thinking that way, which was like, is he doing something incorrect? Because there are two different scenes, I think, at the beginning of the movie where he shoots Teddy, and the second time that he does it, Teddy like turns and he's like, look in the basement or whatever. And then he shoots him in the face. So I'm like, wait, is he doing something wrong? And it's like making him restart from the bed, and he has to like do the right things.
Did you get that like the black and white was moving forward and the color is moving backwards? Did you like piece that together? Like that's how it's presented. So like any black and white scene is the beginning, basically moving forward. And then any color aspect of the movie is starting from the end and going backwards.
No, I didn't pick that up, but now that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, because it's like I was
at one point. At one point in the movie, like near the end, he pulls up in the car and walks into that abandoned building, and in the hallway, it turns from black and white to color.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to pull that clip up and watch it because that's actually really cool to me. That's interesting. I mean, I liked how the movie was shot a lot. Like, I mean, I've seen other Nolan films and I've liked them for the most part. So like he's clearly has a good grasp of like storytelling and like directing.
Seeing this movie makes me sad, kind of, and I don't think Nolan's gone bad. I still love all his movies, but I just liked his more gritty movies. Like this movie and Insomnia are so different than anything else he did moving forward. Like, these are the only two R-rated movies I think he did too. But it was just I miss that, like, he's not going gritty and just doing like another movie like Memento or Insomnia.
Was Dunkirk not rated R?
No, it's PG-13, I believe.
I mean, I guess because I don't want to monopolize the thoughts at the beginning here. I'm the only person this is their first time watching this movie, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess, did you like this movie before, and did your opinion change on the rewatch?
Yeah, like I saw it in the theaters and like walked out like blown away. It was like, you know me, I always say like I'm all about directors. I don't give a shit who's in the movie. And this was one of the after I saw it in the theaters, I'm like, well, I'll follow this director through anything, you know. And then he went on and took on Batman, obviously, and that was super exciting when I heard that.
Yeah. What about you guys? Did you like the movie before? Or did it change upon this new viewing?
Liked it before, liked it now. What else can I say about it? Not much. I really enjoy, if nothing else, I just enjoy the central conceit of the film and how it was presented. How, like, to convey his memory loss, they just play the movie backwards for you, so you're always as disoriented as he is whenever his memory kicks in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about you, Dom? Any change in opinion upon rewatching?
I liked it before. I will admit, like halfway through the movie, I was like, I don't remember how this movie fucking ends.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens. You just lose your memory.
Agree with you,
Yep. I
remember the beginning and I remembered the end. I just couldn't remember like a lot of the middle.
Well, so I remember
how Carrie-Anne Moss played into it.
I remembered how she played into it, but I didn't remember how we got there, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
That scene when they keep on going, like when goes out to her car and then then they go to the black and white and she comes back and you're like, that scene's so good. When she's just like getting them to hit her and everything, and then she just waits in her car and she hides all the pens. It's so good.
Oh, I didn't realize she was Trinity. Interesting.
Yes, yeah.
He's gonna be blown away when you.
Is that a joke?
Like, oh, that's Cypher.
Wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Wait, what did Mike say?
That's Cypher from Matrix 2. What's his name? Teddy.
First Matrix.
Oh,
Teddy
I wouldn't have known that.
In the first Matrix.
Interesting.
He's the guy who double crossed.
Did you know Keanu Reeves is Neo?
Yeah, but he's not in this movie. I wasn't. I didn't.
Did you know Guy Pearce was the bad guy from Iron Man 3?
I don't.
I bring that up.
I did not know that. I was gonna click on Guy Pearce's IMDb next. I clicked on Carrie-Anne Moss because she kind of looked like
Trinity.
No, I wouldn't have been able to pick out Trinity if you fucking point. Like I wouldn't.
She's in the trailers for the new movie too.
I don't know this shit. She kind of looked like one of the others from Lost. That's why I was like, is that who that is? You know what I'm
This
talking about, Todd?
conversation is
Blonde
like
lady.
the epitome of the
Yeah.
PTC Movie Club. That Brenden watched an entire movie with Carrie Ann Moss and was like, "Oh shit, she's Trinity from the movies that we're gonna rewatch next month."
Yeah, but I literally just told you that my recollection of fucking red pill versus blue pill, fucking I don't fucking know what's going on in that movie. I honestly, I don't know what the fuck's going on in the Matrix. So I will.
At the end of this movie, at the end of this episode, we need to ask Brenden what happens
My
in the Matrix.
my
movie.
summary of the Matrix. Yes, please make sure we do that before we end it. Wait, Carrie Ann Moss is in Disturbia? No, this is too much. This is too much. This can't be
This
real.
was like this Guy Pearce was in his prime when this movie came out too. He was in like L.A. Confidential. He was in like so many good movies, and then
There's too much happening right now with like things we have talked about and what's going on with this movie. Carrie Ann Moss is in Daredevil, which another thing we talked about this episode. Mass Effect 2 and 3, which we didn't talk about, but I didn't know she was in that game. I'm trying to find Disturbia to see if this actually is a thing. What year did that movie come out? It's old, right? Early 2000s?
Like 2003-ish, I want to say.
Yeah.
I feel like Guy Pearce
Yeah.
got pigeonholed into being a bad guy
Is in
from
Disturbia.
like the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, which is weird because he's a really good actor, but I feel like that's all he's done.
I mean, to be fair, he was the bad guy of this movie.
Yeah, I know, but
They were all bad people.
I mean,
Really?
I actually want to dig into the plot of this movie a little bit because say what you're gonna say.
I was just gonna say that they're all like, none of them are straight shooters, but
I was gonna say no one's really a good guy in this movie.
is what's his name? Mark Booth? Is he really a bad guy? He's just trying to make some
Yeah,
money.
he was
He's just trying to make some money.
So I have it in my phone because there's points in the film where my opinion on certain things changes.
Mark Booth also in Batman Begins, right?
Yes.
This is so
It was
bizarre.
Flass. I forget the detective's name.
Yeah.
So the first note I took, which must have been in the first 5 minutes of the movie, when he's just like sitting in dark black and white, like either on the phone or taking notes, and the first thing I wrote in my phone was, honestly had no idea what this movie was about at all going into this, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck's happening right now. And the second thing I wrote was, so this is just 12 minutes with less incest. That's what I wrote in my phone. I did write Natalie, girl from Lost, ? So this is just like me viewing this film. There was a point early in the movie where I wrote...
Actually, now I'm thinking about it more. I love that Brendan's idea of a time loop immediately goes to 12 minutes.
I mean, that's
all the
kind
time loop things in the world.
Well,
Brendan went to 12 minutes.
so it's not just that. It's because of, again, the way the movie opened to me with those, because there's two scenes at the beginning where he's dealing with Teddy and shoots him. So like, to me, I was like, oh, is he trying to like find the right path forward? That's what ties it to 12 minutes for me. Obviously,
You know what it was?
when you find out
Probably
something,
knowing
not a
that
time
it's
loop,
like-
but
knowing that it's in, like Nolan and Inception, you're probably like trying to think that like he's, or like, all his movies are kind of have that like.
I kind of want to pick Groundhog Day now, so Brennan will be like, oh, so this is just 12 minutes.
no, that's like Deathloop.
Yes.
My next thought at some point, or again early in the film, was who the fuck tattooed Lenny? Because I'm like, there's no way that this dude is doing this himself, but they make you think he's doing it himself because he's like makes that little thing and he's like doing it on his leg. I'm like, there's no way that this guy is standing in a mirror and like doing all of this fancy cursive on his body with all these things.
Oh,
He
Like,
did
there's no
the
fucking way.
leg ones that he could do, yeah.
Yeah, he goes to tattoo parlor for some things, and then he does other things like himself.
Which once they reveal
was
the tattoo
explained,
parlor, then it makes sense. But up until then, I'm like, there's no way that you're gonna sit here and tell me in a believable way that this dude is doing all of that to himself. It's just not possible. There's no fucking way. You'd have to actually be a legitimate artist to do that. Like a tattoo artist could probably do that
No,
to
maybe
themselves.
he is, right? Maybe he just doesn't remember that he was an artist. Did they say what his job was beforehand?
Yes, he was an
Oh
insurance,
yeah, they do. Insurance, yeah.
investigator or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a huge plot point of the movie.
But then, so there's a point up until you get to a certain point
Did he
where
convince himself that he was an insurance salesman?
this is what I want to get to. This is what I want to get to is that like, what do we know for a movie that tries to instill like here's fact and this is what is really happening? Do we know for a fact like
anything?
Yeah, anything about these characters?
No, because they were all unreliable.
Teddy was a cop.
Teddy was a cop. Yes.
So I guess we'll just kind of skip to the end.
We don't know that he still is. We know that at some point he was a cop.
Is Lenny Sammy? Does Sammy exist? Is the whole Sammy story a like projection of what actually happened to Lenny, but he tells it as if it's another person? Is that what is going on?
I believe so. I mean, that's how I take it.
It depends on who you want to believe. I think Teddy was probably telling the truth in the sense that Sammy did exist, but he was actually a con man, and all the bad stuff that happened to Sammy's wife actually happened to Lenny's wife.
So
yeah, I think everything that Teddy at the end is like legit truth.
So
like
Lenny's wife has the bad stuff happen to her, but Lenny then also kills her with insulin?
Yes.
Yes.
So she was not actually killed by the guy, but after she died because of his memory loss, he chose to use, his affliction to kind of go out and, I don't know, be a vigilante.
So Lenny in those scenes is actually whatever it may be. I'm assuming the police are not.
I just want to connect another movie.
Don't call him Lenny. He doesn't like to be called Lenny.
That's true.
Stephen Tobolowsky was also the dad from
yeah, that's
Country
true.
Bears.
Sammy
is also the dad from Country Bears.
Oh yeah, right.
Yes,
I love that guy.
So then I'm assuming then in the Sammy scenario where Lenny is this insurance adjuster, whatever he is, that character is actually I'm assuming police or judge who isn't believing that Lenny has this condition of short-term memory loss.
I forget exactly how, because Teddy does explain in some way that Lenny had the affliction, and then what ended up happening was, I think after his wife died, or at some point, like he had to get kicked out of whatever facility he was in. So to your question,
wait, so Lenny was in an institution?
Yes. That was what my read of it was.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It's been I've now forgotten the film after watching it a month ago, but I believe that is what happened, is that Lenny's wife did not die, but at some point she did, and he also got kicked out of his whatever facility he was living in. I don't know if the test they ran on Lenny actually happened or not. Not Lenny, on Sammy. But at some point, those two different stories, I guess, emerge. It's tough to determine what happened only to one and not the other.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, and again, unless we're just not picking up on it and the movie does explicitly tell us, I think maybe by design, that's kind of murky and cloudy on purpose, where it's like, just kind of goes with the nature of the film, where you don't really know who is trustworthy and you don't really know who's telling the truth and you don't really know what the actual truth is. So Lenny's recollection mixed with Sammy's story is like purposefully unclear.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, there was a point in the film where like clearly just by the portrayal of Teddy's character, at least to me, he looked like oh, that guy definitely did something wrong. Like that guy is definitely the guy that assaulted and raped Lenny's wife. Like 100%. Like everything about this guy, the way he's acting with like Lenny, the way he just looks as a character, like he just seems like an off character.
He's always that character too in every movie he's in. Like literally every movie he's in. No. And where did he go?
Oh, not in Bad Boys. Not in Bad Boys.
Not in Bad Boys.
Okay. Did you guys ever see the movie Bound
No.
with Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's Todd's next pick.
I honestly kind of want to pick it, but I don't think you guys. Some of you might like it, but I don't think Brenden would like it.
I mean,
It's
sure.
essentially, I can pick it. I don't think Brendan's gonna like it.
Anyways, so yeah, I mean, there's definitely a point in the film, at least for me, where I'm trying to figure out, like, I've at some point, maybe the first half hour or so, realized, okay, it's not a time loop. It is we're going to continue to push further back and figure out more pieces to figure out what is happening in the end. Which, that concept, I don't know how many other movies do that type of thing where it works backwards that way. And I can't really think of a game that works backwards that way. But kind of going back to the whole 12 minutes aspect, I wouldn't...
Raid?
A movie?
Braid.
Oh,
Braid.
you're right. Yeah, Braid does do that. But I guess I guess I would also enjoy a more narrative-focused game that kind of worked in a similar way, where you could play around with game mechanics in a way where it's like, there is maybe a chance that the player could get lucky and like do the right things at the end to just immediately end the game. And maybe that's an achievement for Mike's little gone home fucking speedrun bullshit. But I like the idea of a game where you kind of start at the end like that, and you are slowly figuring out the ways to get all of the information. So you're working backwards to get to the end solution.
Yeah, I can't think of any game that's done that, but that would be a
Yeah.
good thing. I think that would be a pretty cool game if there was something.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Mike's not wrong with Braid. I guess spoilers for like a 20-year-old indie game at this point. Maybe not 20, maybe like 15 years.
What is the name of that Annapurna game?
12 minutes.
No. The one, there's a game where I don't want to say what I want to say because it's literally the spoiler for the game, but I feel like there's a game that has that same, like you're finding facts about what happened and then you find out something about yourself, essentially.
That might be the Jonas Brother game that Mike has. I think that they might.
It might be.
What Remains of Edith Finch?
Yes.
I mean, I played that game. I like that game.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
You're essentially
telling the story of what
facts
happened.
and you find out what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
You find out that you're Edith Finch? I don't know what the game is.
Am I the only... Have you played that game, Dom?
Yes.
Did you play it, Todd?
I did, yeah. I didn't like it.
You didn't
I
like it,
stopped
right?
halfway
Yeah.
through.
I liked it. I mean, it's got some jank to it as just a game, which...
I mean, it's
It's
not
an indie
a
game.
new game, right?
It's kind of
No.
older too, yeah.
It's not super old. It's
No,
probably
but I mean,
8 or
it's an
10
indie game and it's a little bit older. I mean, so it's got some jank to it, like gameplay wise. But I think overall, it is a pretty good game. I agree though. I like the story of that, and I kind of like learning about the characters in that kind of roundabout way. But back to Memento. Yeah, I like, basically for me, there was that point where it's like, okay, I'm trying to figure out if Teddy is the bad character. And then you meet Carrie Ann Moss's character, Natalie. And like, based on just like how things are being framed and how time is progressing backwards, you're led to believe that Natalie is on your side, where as you get further in, then it's a little more cloudy of, wait, hold on, is Natalie actually on your side? And there's a point in like the middle-ish where I was like, okay, something tells me that Teddy is not actually the bad person, and Natalie is. But then I was like, maybe Natalie's not actually the bad person either. Maybe there's another person that we haven't really gotten into a little bit.
Dodd.
Yeah, Dottie by nature.
The real antagonist, Todd.
I liked, there was a scene where he holds up both pictures of both Teddy and Natalie, and on the back it says like, for Natalie's like, she's a liar, and then like on the back of Teddy's it says like, don't trust any of his lies. So in my head I'm like, interesting. I wonder like why these both say that. Like it makes me think, because there was a bunch of points where I was waiting, and I was actually waiting for Teddy to be the one to do it. because I think he might be the only person that ever actually takes any of Lenny's things. I was like waiting for someone to take his photos and write things on them when he wasn't aware or wasn't looking or whatever. But I don't think that ever happens. There's one moment in a car, I think, when Teddy takes a photo, but then he takes it right back from him.
But we also learned very early on that Lenny has learned to rely on his handwriting, and he knows his handwriting. Like, he knows his handwriting. He can't believe anything that's not his handwriting.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
that's
you're
why
right.
he wrote something initially on Natalie's photo in like a different handwriting. So
Wait,
he
is
knew not
Bert
to
the
believe
only
it
good
later
guy
on.
then? Is Bert even a good guy? Does Bert take his when he makes him pay for the hotel again? Is he
So,
actually just fucking? I can't remember if he's like. Does he actually just make him pay double?
He makes him pay twice,
He
but
does,
yes.
he doesn't lie about it.
He doesn't lie about it.
My bad. Not that it matters.
Right.
I will.
That guy's in everything too.
I will say the scene in Natalie's house when it starts to seem like, oh no, Natalie is actually also either using him or not a good person. And like, at least I could kind of see a few steps ahead of that. I was like, oh, something bad's going to happen. I think it must've been like, I think they play it right back to back where he's looking for a pen and she comes home and she's like, oh, Todd hit me, whatever, all this stuff. But then it plays it back. And then like you see her very not like a focal point of the scene. Like you could definitely miss it, but you see her specifically go into the cabinet and take all of the pens. And like that scene, I was like, oh, fuck. Like she's fucking terrible. And then when she came inside, I was like, and when she started talking to him like that, I was like, oh, he hits her. Like she is going to make him hit her. Like that is what is happening here. Which I just thought it was like a very interesting development in the plot, because then it's like makes a very clear line of like, okay, Natalie also is not someone to be trusted. So like, who can this guy actually trust? And I was trying.
Trust no one, not even yourself.
No one.
Is that the point?
Mm-hmm.
Trust no one?
Yeah. But knowing that the black and white is moving forward and the color stuff is backwards, does that make you like the movie better now that like, because I liked the movie after I saw it, and then once I realized that, it made me like the movie more.
It wasn't even necessarily that I don't like the movie. Here's where I stand on this movie. I think it does some interesting things, a little too long for what the movie is about for me, just because I don't like, I there was a point somewhere in the middle, last 3 quarters where I'm like, all right, let's just get to what's happening. I want to know what the end is. I think what ultimately kind of put me in a sour position on the movie, I think overall, is simply because I hated the resolution of the movie, because you strung me along and you got me sort of invested in what is happening and wanting to know what is going on with these characters. And then when you reveal that to me, the revelation is, oh, Lenny is also a piece of shit, and he's going to choose in this moment to purposely set the like we start at the beginning of the movie, we start at the end of the movie, and how we get to that final end of the movie is Lenny is a douchebag.
I love it though. That's so good. When it just jams on the brakes, I fucking love it. That scene and like the music and it's so good.
I was so aggravated by it. I sort of liked the reveal of like when he kills Jimmy and Teddy's sitting there and you're getting all of this thrown at you by Teddy, like seemingly the truth, where it's like, hey, you've been doing this. I didn't love that like Teddy has been seemingly, again, we don't know how long, and I don't think they ever say how long this has been going on, but Teddy makes it seem like, hey, no, I just catch bad people and let you kill them, hoping that it will like snap you out of this. Like that part, little maybe get the fuck
Teddy's
out of here,
just
Teddy.
making side money off of him. Teddy's finding leads on drug dealers and just being like, you take care of this for me. You know, it's like, it's you.
Yeah.
So like, it is what it is. But then when it gets to the point of like, hey, he's revealing all this to you, you can like choose to, in this moment, like leave yourself a note that like maybe every time you have this lapse, you can look at the note and like break yourself out of this, and maybe over repetition, break yourself out of this. Instead, you just decide, no, I'm going to fucking kill Teddy. And I'm just like, what? Like, the whole point of the movie, to me at least, is thrown out, because the point is he wants to give some sort of, closure to his wife. I mean, I guess you find out that he incidentally killed his wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then why not kill himself, I guess, then? I don't know. Like, I'm so confused, because if he ultimately kills Teddy and we don't know what happens after, then what is the next piece? Does he get closure because he thinks Teddy is John G?
Just keep it going. Right, figure out a way to
keep going. Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. I
don't know how far he'll get without Teddy's help.
Yeah. Well, my assumption is that he just goes.
He doesn't have somebody like recreating a puzzle for him. So he's gonna wake up and have like strings that don't lead anywhere. So
I mean, he'll have Natalie, and that could be a whole can of worms. And if she ever finds out that he's the one that killed Jimmy,
she knows.
I think she already knows.
That was the whole. Yeah, that was the whole reason that she did what she did.
That was another thing I wanted to bring up briefly. While I was watching the movie.
Hold on, let's explain this to Brenden real quick. He pulls into the back of the bar in Jimmy's car, and in Jimmy's clothes.
With a note that was
that
was in Jimmy's handwritten, or was written for Jimmy. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So watching this movie, I forgot about that whole part. So the entire time I thought, this baggy suit thing was a really weird stylistic choice for like early 2000s. I just thought it was just the style at the time.
Yeah.
And then I get to the end, I'm like, oh, that's right. He killed the guy and took his suit.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, I think it's hard. Like, honestly, though, I think this movie requires multiple viewings in some regards, because, like, I wouldn't expect you to piece everything together like this, because I know I watched this movie like several times. It's kind of like Donnie Darko, like where I was like scouring the internet and being like, all right, what happened in this movie? I know what happened, but like, what am I missing? Kind of thing.
I mean, here's that's a good comparison for me. After I watched Donnie Darko, I had a not great opinion on the movie. After we talked about it, it changed my opinion on Donnie Darko. Our conversation has not changed my opinion on I almost said The Prestige, on Memento, because I think ultimately for me, it's like, again, I like a lot of things in the movie.
You need a happy ending. We get it, dude.
I don't need a happy ending. Donnie Darko didn't have a fucking happy ending. Donnie Darko?
Yeah, he saved his family.
Yeah.
Sure. He's in Warzone. There's the happy ending.
He found peace. He found his purpose.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could maybe make the leap that in this ending, fucking
Lenny found his purpose in life too.
Lenny found his purpose or found his peace. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I felt kind of robbed by the ending. I wanted something different. It didn't need to be a happy ending. The ending didn't have to be I killed the guy who raped my wife. It didn't have to be that. It just had to be. I don't know. Well, that's true. He did. Yeah. At least according to Teddy, he did.
Just we didn't watch that part of the movie.
Yeah. So
the part that I have a problem with in this movie is I do not understand what his short-term memory is, because at some points it seems like he can go a full day with remembering things.
Is it the second?
Other points it's like 15 minutes.
Yeah, because like the last like
the part where he's in Ellie's house, he's like, I need a pen, I need to write this down, and then she walks in the door and he's like loses all of his memory.
So
I'm like, what happened?
I think it's because he turned and looked, and then all of a sudden I think it's the second he stops, like if he loses track of his.
I think it's the bang that sets him off. I just don't understand like how that. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand short-term amnesia, but.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this movie is completely logistically sound or makes a lot of sense, but I feel like I've been in situations where, I want to remember something, but then something might distract me in like a split second and then I'll lose the train of thought. So I think his memory, let's say it lasts roughly 6 minutes, but he knew he was at the end. He was like trying to focus on that one thing so he could at least write it down before. And then like he was basically stretching his
so my thought is that it's not necessarily time, it's the bang, and that's why he has the prostitute slam the door, because that resets him.
Yeah.
And when Ellie walks in the house, she slams the door, so I feel like that's the thing that resets him.
At the end, though, I'm trying to think.
It's funny that Mike said Split Second, though. Guy Pearce also in Split Second.
No, the ending when like he's like driving and then all of a sudden he jams on the brakes. Like I'm trying to remember what stopped him
The
from
tattoo.
remembering that.
No, when he slams on the brakes, he's
Yeah, when
looking
he
for a
goes to the-
tattoo parlor. He's just looking for a tattoo parlor when he slams on the brakes.
Okay, and maybe him slamming on the brakes is what gets him the fucking reset. I don't know.
No, he's looking for a tattoo parlor because he wants to get
I don't know which
tattoo.
part you're
He
talking
wanted
about.
at the end of the
Yeah.
movie when he's going to a tattoo parlor and he slams on the brakes is because he wants to tattoo the license plate as fact number 6 or 5 on his leg or whatever. So he in turn ends up killing Teddy. He wants to like make sure that it's solidified that the license plate is the person he's looking for, which is fucking Teddy's car. I think it is signified by the loud noise. Is what kind of snaps his memory. I think it's what resets it to his wife's that night with the intruder. Because like someone had mentioned, when he has the woman over in the bedroom, in the bathroom, when Natalie shuts the car door and comes back inside, that's when it stops him from looking for pens. So it's like, it seems to be like a loud bang. There's also the moment.
It's the house door though, not the car door, right?
I think it's the car
Can't
door
remember.
because she goes and
Is
sits
it?
in the car and he looks out the window and she's just fucking
Oh,
staring at
because
him.
he turns to her to look at the
Yes.
door. Okay, you're right.
And then if you think back to when he goes to the bar, the first time that we see him go to the bar, probably not the first time he goes in there.
Slamming the mug down. She
It's
slams the mug down and he looks up.
Yes, it's either
Well, the guy
slamming the
laughed.
mug down or it's the guy making a loud noise because he like that is not a large that's like a minute
Yeah.
between them spitting in the mug and him drinking it. So, but that's also in that moment, I think that's her testing him to see if he's actually telling the truth about his condition, because it was very clear that everyone just spit in that mug and then he drank it and then she stops him. She's like, no, I'll get you a new one. That's dusty. So like, I don't know. It's interesting. It deals with some interesting concepts. I meant to look up to see if
Wait,
that, like,
no, is that how that scene plays out? I think she gives him the drink. She takes it, says, "Oh, this one, something's wrong with this." She brings it to people to spit in, and then she gives it back to him.
No.
So he drinks.
She slams it on the table.
No.
Because he gets up away from the bar.
Yes,
And goes to the table.
He's sitting at the bar. She has the old guy spit in it. She spits in it. She has him spit in it. And then he goes and sits at a table and he does that. She slams it down. He drinks it. But in a previous, prior to that scene, there is another scene of him in the bar that is the same scenario. We just, in the second version of it, we get more of that story. She pulls the mug away and says, no, there's dust in that. Let me get you a new one. Because I think she's just seeing if he's lying about his condition. Because why would you drink out of that fucking mug if you knew 3 people spit in it? I guess your spit doesn't matter, but he watched the other people spit in it.
I think she was at that moment realizing how much she could get away with this guy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. 100%. She's seeing what is possible with this. Yeah, I mean, I meant to look up to see like how real of a scenario this could be for someone with like short-term memory loss.
I saw a whole movie about it. It was a fucking blue fish, and it swam through the ocean, and it was looking for its parents.
Finding
Sure,
Dory.
that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't thinking about that either.
Did you not know
That
when
was
I
a
was talking
joke.
about it? Yeah.
That was a joke in Brooklyn
I saw Brendan
Nine-Nine.
put his hand in his face, and I thought he knew exactly what I was going to say.
No, I'm an idiot. Anyways, yes. I don't know. It was a movie. I mean, I don't hate it. It definitely wasn't the worst movie we've watched. Like I said, I don't hate it. I think I just wanted a different resolution. It could have been anything. I didn't like what it was. Because I kind of don't like that we don't really get a wrap up on Natalie. I kind of like that there's like this tension. I like at some point where we find out that like there is some tension between Natalie and Teddy. Like they know each other for different reasons than what we know about, but it's seemingly because Teddy's a cop and Natalie's boyfriend is a drug dealer. So like there's that underlying thing, and it seems like Natalie wants him to kind of deal with Teddy, and Teddy, like, whatever, back and forth. And I don't know, like, I just, Teddy is clearly not like 100% a good person either. So like, I'm not mad that Teddy ends up dying. I just kind of, I don't know. I don't know what I would have preferred the resolution of the film to be.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone was using everybody else. That's basically what it boils down to. And they all had their reasons for using each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you could say any of them are like, you know, valid or whatever, but that's what it boils down to. Everyone was using everybody else, and they all got what they deserve.
Yeah.
I think Natalie kind of got away with it scot-free.
Natalie got away with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to maybe sit down and think about it some more, but
to be fair, Lenny also got away with it.
That's true.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
I don't know. I don't know. When he comes back, his wife will still be murdered and raped, so...
Yeah.
But is he ever going to come back?
Can't take that away.
Is he going to come back from what?
Like, is he ever going to be cured of
my
this
point
affliction?
is... No, my point is that, like, he's like given himself another opportunity to quote unquote kill his wife's murderer, but at the same time, like, when he wakes up, he's just putting himself through the same thing again. So yeah, I guess in a way he gave himself exactly what he deserved, and that's just more torment.
Yeah. I mean, if he wants to kill his wife's murderer, he should point the gun at himself. Because if the insulin thing is true, then he is the one that killed his wife.
This title that I just read too is good. The Lies We Tell Ourselves to Live.
What is that?
It's just like a title of it says, like, it's an article on Memento, but the title says The Lies We Tell Ourselves to Live.
Yeah. I'd have to think about it some more. Maybe my opinion would change over time the more I thought about it. I guess at the end of the film, my takeaway was I felt like a lot of what happened was pointless, where when I was watching the movie, I was invested. So I guess I wanted to have some sort of ending that, you know, maybe made me think more upfront. Maybe it's something that'll just kind of fester in my brain, and then I'll be like, oh, actually, I fucking like that for whatever reason. I don't know. Who's to say? Does anyone else have anything else to say about Memento?
No, watching this makes me want to finish Tenet. I've tried watching Tenet several times and just haven't been able to get through it.
Are all of Nolan's movies besides Batman like thrillers or like mysteries or whatever? Puzzle box?
Yeah,
Interstellar wasn't really a thriller.
Yeah, no, Interstellar.
It was puzzling.
Yeah, I never seen Interstellar. I mean, I've seen Inception.
And Dunkirk wasn't a puzzle.
Yeah.
I think Dunkirk's one of his best movies, and I feel like no one ever talks about it.
I don't care about war movies, to be honest.
I don't either, and it's that good of a movie, though. It's really, really good. And I went into that movie like, I don't really want to watch.
Is Dunkirk the one with Harry Styles?
Yes. Harry Styles.
Barry Keoghan.
Hardy.
Yeah. So Cillian Murphy's there for a bit.
It's not listed under his directorial IMDb, but it's under his writing credits. He wrote Man of Steel.
Yeah, he was involved. He's been involved in the DC stuff.
That was when DC wanted to make everything really, really connected. Dark.
Yeah. Oh, dark. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were doing it was hot off of, The Dark Knight, I think. So they said, hey, we're going to do Superman. Just put your handprints on this so people will come see it.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm kind of sad he's making his next movie is another war, not really war movie, but about the atom bomb. But I want to see him do more original stuff, like Inception, like Memento. I'd love to see more stuff like that from him.
I don't know. A movie about Oppenheimer could be good.
No, I'm sure it's going to be great. But it's hard to get me to drop everything to see those types of movies, even though they're good 90% of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
like Dunkirk for me, I was like, oh,
unless he changes history, there's not very much there's not very many twists he can throw at us. I guess
it took a lot for me to watch Dunkirk because I was like, I don't really feel like watching a war movie. I just don't. It's not something I want to. And then I forced myself, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I did, but it's not something. It took me a while to watch that movie.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to keep doing war movies, there's nothing from stopping him from doing alternate history, his own take on
start going
stuff.
Quentin Tarantino stuff.
That, or like, I don't know, I was thinking like Wolfenstein, where it's like kind of based on historical things, but it's
What happens if
the Nazis
win,
yeah.
or what happens if
So I mean, that's always a path you could take if you wanted to like mix it up and like do something that would not be not predictable, but like do something that would be, you know, you like his other work, which is like, you know, a little more puzzle boxy, you know, mystery thriller elements to it. Does anyone have anything else they want to add to?
I'm just shocked none of us have picked a Quentin Tarantino movie yet.
What would we pick?
Oh man, any of them. I mean, I feel like no one's. I mean, everyone. You probably haven't seen Pulp Fiction. I would probably pick Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Any of them, any Quentin Tarantino. I mean, Inglourious Basterds. I feel like everyone's seen, so it's like that's not one I would pick. But like, I don't know, any Quentin Tarantino movie.
I mean, you have a chance to do that in a few months.
I already know what my next pick is. I'm standing strong on it. I'm not changing it.
All right, fair enough. Anyone else have anything to add on Memento before we wrap things up?
I liked a lot of those scenes where it starts off. This is just nothing really important. It's just that I like the scenes where he starts off. He's like, "What am I doing here?" He's like holding the ball. It's like, I don't feel drugs.
Right. Yeah.
And
Right.
You go back or he's like, "Why am I running?"
Yeah.
I'm chasing this guy.
The script hotel room.
Yeah, right.
He's chasing me.
I liked a lot of those scenes in moments as well, and I like that. That's kind of what kept making me draw like 12 minutes comparisons, simply because it's like it feels like the game character narrating to try to push the player to like think about ways to interact with the environment, where it's like, I don't feel drunk, but I'm holding a bottle of alcohol. Like just little stuff like that. Like it kind of makes me want a narrative like game like this where you're working backwards, trying to like piece it together by moving backwards. And if you fuck up, you know, it resets the loop or whatever. But I agree with you. Like some of those scenes were good.
Sorry, I just started thinking about another game. It's not one I played, but I know I listened to a review about it, and I feel like it's close to what you are looking for, but I don't know what the game was called.
I mean, there probably is a game that deals with this. I'm sure there is at least one.
We'll think of one like when we finish.
I mean, it's probably something I never played. I'm sure there's plenty. I'm sure there's at least a couple of indie games that have this type of storytelling aspect to it. But yeah, anything else on Memento from anyone before we wrap it up?
That was an early. That must have been an early appearance for Thomas Lennon.
That was him in the scene where he's doing the
puzzle
test.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. I thought it was, but it didn't look like him. Like it was like it looked like it was young enough that it didn't actually look like him.
Right.
I listened to Tom Lennon in a podcast before, and I think he said something along the lines of he likes to pretend that it's the same doctor that treats Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I was actually surprised by that when I saw that. I'm like, wait, how did I not know this?
Who's to say?
Well, the state had already happened, but
Yeah.
That's a show, not a film.
Yeah.
So, does that close the book here? Close the door on Memento?
Close it up.
Un momento, por favor.
So, there you have it. There's our episode on Memento. Going into December, the 3 Matrix movies. If you want to hear us talk about those, that'll be the PTC Movie Club for December. But we're not quite done with this episode just yet. Episode 287's got one more thing in the tank, and that's everyone's favorite new closing segment, which is What's in the Box?
Well, before we get into what's in the box,
okay.
What can we look forward to talking about in December? What are the Matrix films about, Brenden?
So, the Matrix films, again, I have at least seen the first movie when it first came out on a VHS tape. I don't know if I've actually watched 2 and 3. I may have, I may not have, I may have seen pieces. I don't know. But regardless,
how do you watch that first one and not finish it out?
Bro, because that was like, I don't know, what movie did The Matrix come out? What year did The Matrix come out?
1999, I want to say. I want to say I was like
99.
in high school.
99?
Yeah,
Todd, I was 10 years old. Yeah, I can see why I wouldn't be like, I need to watch Matrix 2 immediately.
Even that,
like, get the fuck out of here.
I watched Terminator 2 when
Bro,
I was
the
like
only
10 or 11, I was
movies,
like, it was the greatest
the
movie ever.
only
Dude, the
movies
early
that
90s was a different time.
the only movies
just-
at that time that I was like I needed to watch immediately were Lord of the Rings, and that was it. There was no other movie that I was like fucking gotta watch a movie. I gotta play fucking Majora's Mask. I gotta play fucking.
You know what's so funny? You brought up Lord of the Rings because I watched that scene the other night when I'm no man, when the girl at like the final one, and I was like, I don't know if it was just if the movie's old at this point. It didn't sit right with me. It felt like bad acting, and and I used to love that scene. Like when she takes out like that like Demento, they were flying all over the place.
I mean, I don't know. I rewatched the 3 Lord of the Rings movies, the extended cuts last year. Fucking flawless movies for me. I love them.
I have them and I've never watched them.
The extended cuts are like three hour plus asleep. Easy. Like they
I
are so
definitely fell
long.
asleep during the second and third movies while we watched them in theaters.
I mean, they're long.
The third
movies.
movie would have been better if it ended like 3 endings earlier than the ending.
Yeah, the third movie's got a lot going on. I think I used to say something differently, but especially after rewatching them last year, like Fellowship is easily the best movie.
Hands down.
Like
Hands
Fellowship
down.
is a very good film. Like I'll watch Fellowship probably like at least once a year going forward, just because I love those movies. But yeah, back to the Dom's original inquiry, which is what do I think the Matrix movies are about? So I'm gonna say that it's about I don't even think I can tell you what Keanu's character's name is. Don't tell me.
You should be able to. We've definitely said it more than once.
Trinity.
Probably you probably said it on this episode more than once. Keanu's name is
Johnny Mnemonic. I'll help you.
Wait, hold on. The guy that's in Lord of the Rings, his name is Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
right? That's the guy in Lord of the
Agent
Rings. That's
Agent Smith.
Yes.
Agent Smith.
Elrond.
Yes.
Elrond.
No.
Elrond.
L. Ron Hubbard.
No,
Yes.
not Elrond Hubbard. Elrond from Lord of the Rings. That actor. Which I definitely know that actor's name too. Give me the first letter of his name.
Hugo.
Hugo Weaving. That's not the first
The first
letter,
letter,
Todd,
Hugo.
but sure. Give me the first letter, Hugo. Yeah, Hurley. Hugo Weaving is Mr. Anderson, correct?
Huh?
You got Morpheus, you got Trinity, Neo.
No, he's
Bang.
Agent
All right,
Smith.
Neo. Okay, so the Matrix movies are about Neo jacking in, not off, in to the Matrix to stop the Matrix?
Yep.
Wait, really?
That means the Matrix.
Good so far.
To
Good so
stop the
far.
Matrix.
I know that
Good
the
so far.
movie, I think, opens with him getting a phone call and like crawling around cubicles. I think.
He.
I
is
think at
selling
one point
cars, I believe.
he jumps off a roof and
Don't correct him.
I
just
think-
wanna see how far.
Sorry.
I think at one point he
because
jumped.
already Mr. Anderson is the guy chasing.
I'm always
I know, right?
confused by when we ask Brendan a question like this, and we're like, Brendan, what do you? We ask Brendan a question, and then Todd immediately just answers the question. It actually
I know,
happens
I
for
get
anything.
excited.
Anytime you ask a question, Todd will answer it, even though it was not.
Yeah,
just it.
Todd does that
Go
when
on.
we've been doing Animal Crossing characters for like the last 10 weeks, and every time Todd's like, yeah, you know, Mike, he sells fish. It's like, Todd, shut the fuck up. I think at one point he jumps off a building and like the ground is rubber. He bounces.
No, that happens once.
And I
that happens.
I may actually only remember that simply because I'm pretty sure at the same time or shortly after an Eminem music video, he does that. He jumps off a building and bounces, and it was him making fun of the Matrix.
God.
I'm pretty sure. It might be the way I am. Anyways, back to the Matrix.
All right, so we got Neo is jacking himself into the Matrix to stop
Yes.
the Matrix, and then he jumps off. Well, he's crawling around cubicles after he answers a phone, and he jumps off a building, and the ground is made of rubber.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't gotten real plot other than his.
Oh, no,
first
I don't know
line.
what the
We haven't
plot
gotten real plot points. We've only gotten like scenes.
This
Which
is
is cool.
the scenes are just me proving that I have seen this movie, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
So you'll probably actually like this. You'll probably like.
I'm excited to watch them again because I
Yeah.
hope I like them. Wait. So me saying he's going into the Matrix to stop the Matrix is just me guessing in a very broad way, but I think he is trying to stop the Matrix. I know Morpheus gives him a red blue choice. I don't actually know what that choice means. I know there's like the Oracle or the Sage that like can see the future or something. I don't fucking know. Is that a real character? He breaks a vase.
Yeah. The Oracle.
She rewinds it, or she says, "I knew you were gonna do that." I don't fucking know.
There is no spoon.
I don't actually know what any. Other than the things I've said, I have no fucking idea what else happens in the movie. I'm pretty sure they're like these pods things, and everyone's like in them in like jelly.
Podcast.
Yeah, they're like in pods, and that's how they're jacked into the Matrix. They're like in these.
That's when they're
alien
born.
pod things. I don't know. I literally don't know, and I couldn't tell you what the sequels are about. I think 2 has
Will Ferrell in it.
Does it really?
Yeah, and he's like, "That's the door where Fifi goes to tinkle."
That skit is so good. That skit is so good.
I don't know.
I did rewatch that like a couple days ago.
I forgot about that.
I think the second one has a scene where they're fighting on cars, and it's the twins.
It's on the highway. Yeah,
The
it's
twins?
the twins. The twins with the dreadlocks. Yeah.
Don't know what they are, who they are, anything else
They're
about these
ghosts.
characters. I do know that they're ghosts, and I think I only know that because Mike has played Enter the Matrix on GameCube, and I think that's the only reason why I know what that's called.
I used to love that game.
Apparently, it's a
Really
good game. I've only heard good things about it, but that's like literally without me just straight up guessing, which I guess I can say. I think the plot of the Matrix movies is Neo realizes he's in a simulation. The simulation is the Matrix. Morpheus wants him to stop it, or is trying to push him to stop it, but wants it to be his own choice. Maybe there's the red pill, blue pill thing is like, maybe that's like Neo's like, oh, everything has a destiny, or maybe Morpheus is saying like everything is predetermined, and it's like, I know which pill you're going to choose, and I don't know. I'm just literally just saying things out loud. I think the plot is he's going into the Matrix to stop the Matrix for 3 movies. I don't know. That's what I got. That's all I got.
All right.
So we'll look
I'll
forward.
find out if you're right.
We'll look forward to that in
And Mr. Anderson says Mr. Anderson to himself, apparently.
Wait, did I say that?
Mr. Anderson. Yeah, you said Neo's name.
Agent Smith is the name of the agent.
Agent Smith.
Yeah.
Wait, who's Mr. Anderson?
Neo.
It's Neo's
Like before he becomes
Earth name. Like,
Oh,
his
okay.
human
Yes,
name.
yes. Mr.
Mr. Anderson.
Anderson
Mr.
is said by
Anderson.
Mr. Smith. Got it. Okay.
Agent
Mr.
Smith.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Agent Smith.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Agent Smith. Anyways, yeah, I don't know.
It's the smell. I can't stand.
Oh, that scene's so good.
Simulation. They're trying to
Don't worry
break.
about it.
They're trying to break the simulation. Anyways,
Vis-a-vis, concordedly.
I'm looking forward to
Ergo,
rewatching
open
those.
your yapper one more time, and I'm gonna architect a world of pain.
Back to the end of the episode, which is everyone's favorite. What's in the box? Dom and Todd both tied right now with 2 points on the board. Mike right behind him, hot on the heels with 1 point, and I have 2 stumps apparently. 2 stumps. So we're gonna kick things off here with the first game in the selection here. And for those of you who haven't heard this before or just tuning in for the first time, I pull 3 random games off my shelf and I start to read the back of the box. And whoever can guess what said game is before the others gets a point.
I gotta get ready to Google.
So, what's in the box? Make your life legendary. Swipe, turn, and tickle as blank on the Wii U gamepad.
WarioWare.
No. Rock the party with crazy musical levels. Join the mischief with up to 5 players in co-op.
Runbow.
No. That's 2 weeks in a row Mike has dropped Rumbo.
Yeah, I was like, I don't
Not
know.
wrong. Like, you're wrong, yes, but not a bad guess. But you are wrong. It's that's the whole back of the box. I thought
That's it?
this was gonna be an easy one. Apparently not. I will read the second thing I read and I will unomit the word. Make your life legendary. Swipe, turn, and tickle as Murphy on the Wii U gamepad.
Oh, Rayman Legends.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Yes.
I
Did I get it?
damn, yeah, you got it. All right. Todd
I was thinking
with a point.
because you got to tickle the underarms of the guys to like
Did you
move
know
the,
that character's name was Murphy?
No, but I started thinking of.
Okay.
I was thinking of Wii U games.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be an easy one. That's why I was hesitant to pick it. On to game number 2. Meet the new Crazy. 60 plus levels of platforming madness.
Crash Bandicoot.
No. Slap your friends in 4-person multiplayer. Slap. Immerse yourself in full.
Did you say fap or flap? Or slap?
I said slap.
Oh, okay.
Immerse yourself in full. What game do you think I'd be reading if the word was fap? Immerse yourself in full high def glory.
Super Mario 3D World?
Negative. Take on epic bosses and uncover hidden secrets. That is the box, folks.
That's it.
Meet the new Crazy. 60 plus levels
I forgot about that. Crazy.
of platforming madness.
I don't know why I keep on thinking it's Wii U too. I'm just like assuming it's all Wii U.
It is not Wii U. I can give you platform if the panel would like that.
Is it exclusive or is it
Not exclusive.
Okay.
Slap your friends in 4-person multiplayer. Take on epic bosses and uncover hidden secrets.
Slap your friends.
Gonna go with. I got nothing. No, I got nothing. I was gonna say it's another Rayman game, but I don't have anything to base that off of.
Who's to say, Mike? This game released during the Xbox 360 generation. It was not exclusive. It was available on multiple platforms.
It's like on the tip of my tongue, but I'm probably thinking of something else. Max Payne 3.
No.
There it is.
Um,
It's a shame. I don't even know what the back of that box even says because you never actually read it.
That is true. I could pull it out again at some point.
I would know that, I think. If
You would 100% know it. I can reveal more clues that are not on the back of the box if you want me to start leaving breadcrumbs
give me a
here.
clue. Give me some crumbs.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I'm trying to think what would be a good clue that would not give it away.
Is it a Connect game?
It does not have Kinect support.
I don't know how. Well, I guess you could technically play it with a PlayStation Eye, whatever it was called, but that's neither here nor there.
It is a platformer.
Mm-hmm.
It is co-op.
Mm-hmm.
It is not an indie game.
Oh, okay.
What year to come out?
I don't know the exact year, but it was on the 360 generation of consoles. I believe it has also been ported to the Switch. The developer is located in Europe. And I feel like if I give out
Ubisoft games,
if I give off any more clues, it would be too direct.
The platforming also ported to Switch. Is it Spyro?
Not Spyro. It is a 2D platformer. This character is... Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, I just like making gestures as if I have an answer. I
Okay.
don't.
Okay. This character is not in Smash Brothers.
All right, that rules out everything but what 70, 80 people.
70. Yeah.
Platformers?
So yeah. Oh,
European developed platformers?
so again, I'm the problem with my Rayman guess is that I don't know Rayman games. But I mean, Ubisoft is in France, right? I don't remember. It's not important because even if I'm right, I don't have any titles.
Yeah, I don't got it. I got nothing.
Are we giving this one to me? Am I getting a stump here?
Mike, what was your guess? You wanted to say Rayman again?
Yeah, I just don't have any Rayman titles.
Have we gotten a Rayman since Rayman Legends?
Wouldn't this predate it?
Yeah, but I don't know if it would have been ported to Switch before that. Because we got Legends
Huh.
for Switch. Brendan's double checking.
Let me
that
just make sure it
ported
was
to
on the Switch. I'm pretty sure it's on the Switch. I apologize. It is not on the Switch. It is on PC, Wii, 360, PS3, Vita, 3DS. I apologize.
I don't know. Rayman Odyssey. Rayman.
Rayman.
Rainmen.
I think we're gonna add this to the stump pile. I think we're at the point of stump. Are we stumping it here?
Stump it.
Yeah, stump away.
Dom?
Yeah.
Throwing in the towel?
Yeah, yeah. Nothing.
Mike, you gotta stop giving away your answers. Rayman Origins.
Origins. I was getting there.
You
I said Odyssey.
You were getting there. You were getting there.
I told
Mike
you.
had it.
I'm pretty sure I knew the thing. I don't know any titles, so I couldn't give you an answer.
All right. So since that was a stump, there's a reason why I pulled an extra game. Moving on.
All right.
To the third
Rayman
game.
Odyssey. Rayman 3. Rayman
Are these
4.
real games? Are these real
I'm
games?
just making shit up. Oh wait, Mario and Rabbids.
That's what I was gonna say.
I do have that game on my shelf. It is not what is in my hand. Zombies have brought blank to its knees.
Plants vs Zombies.
No.
Garden
No.
Chaos. I don't remember what those games are all called.
Nope. Use your blank, the ultimate survival kit, and fight back.
Zombie U.
I was gonna say that too. God damn it, Mike!
Mike's
you beat me.
on the fucking board. I omitted London because that's too big of a clue.
You said zombies.
Yeah,
I mean, I had to say zombies. All right, the final game of the evening, even if there's a stump here, which I don't believe there will be one. Welcome to blank, blank.
Mad City.
No. Is that a game?
No. I don't think so.
Fuck.
That's the only clue you're given.
Well, it seems like Dom may be saying something, so I want to give him a chance to speak.
I can't remember what the name of that was though. It's a offshoot of a popular franchise, right?
I don't know where this is going. I don't know what's happening.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
What does the American dream mean today? For blank, fresh off the boat from blank.
Put in Steam?
No. That's an offshoot of something?
No. It sounded like when Mike guessed Codename Steam right off the bat before.
That is
What
true.
was the first line again?
Welcome to blank blank.
Welcome to blank blank.
GTA 4.
What the fuck, Todd?
Let's go.
How did you pull that?
Nico Bellic, come on! I
didn't say Nico Bellic.
I know, but like it's straight off the boat. Welcome to I was
right.
assuming it was
All
it.
right. He got it. I'll finish reading the box to see
I
where.
thought the beginning was going to be Welcome to Raccoon City, and I was trying to remember what that that Raccoon City
Oh,
offshoot game was. What
it's
was that
funny.
game called?
There's a couple. Operation Raccoon City, probably.
That was probably the one.
It's funny that you thought Resident Evil, though, because I almost pulled a Resident Evil game off my shelf today. But I'll read the full box for those who care. What does the American dream mean today for Nico Bellic, fresh off the boat from Europe? It is the hope he can escape his past for his cousin Roman. It is the vision that together they can find fortune in Liberty City.
Were you gonna read Roman's name if you read
I
it?
was gonna omit all the names.
Okay.
I feel like it's good rule of thumb, at least so far I've noticed, to just omit proper nouns altogether. There was more to that, but it's basically just the plot of the game.
It's funny because I was thinking about GTA 4 a couple of days ago. So.
Well, there you have it. The scores right now: Todd in the lead with 4, Mike and Dom tied in second.
Technically, it should be 6 because I got Max Payne 3 without.
He's gonna always hold that in there. It's gonna always be a thing. There you have it. That is what's in the box, and that'll do it for this week's episode 287 of the Pass Controller Podcast. As always, if you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, want to help support the show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can share us on social media, let a friend know about the show, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever podcast reviews can be left. If you have a few bucks kicking around, you want to help support the show, you can do that by going to patreon.com/passthecontroller, becoming a patron, going to twitch.tv/passcontroller and subscribing to the channel, or going to passthecontroller.io, passthecontroller.threadless.com and getting yourself some 6/6 swag.
Tasty treats.
Some tasty treats. You can find everything we do at passcontroller.io on Twitter and on Instagram at passcontroller. You can find me at bgroom. You can find Mike at _michaelpath. You can find Todd at toddy_by_nature. You can find Dom at PTC_one little spark. And thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 287. Until next time.